All right, so the question we're talking about, as I see it, is that you're superimposing an XY axis here and saying at this point is 0.75, what would this point be at 75 millimeters away and 120 degrees? And this point right here that has this radius of 75 but at 240. All right. Real quick, we can explain this using some trigonometry, and the way I explain it hopefully will let you figure this out for a bunch of other degrees too. Okay, to solve this first, you need a basic understanding of similar triangles to support what we're going to do, but this is a really, really basic example for similar triangles. Two similar triangles are triangles that have the same angle measures, and these two triangles we're looking at here have the same angle measures. Let's say I had this first one here with all the information, and then someone gave me this second triangle and said, hey, the only thing I'm going to tell you is that this right here is 45. I need some kind of unit, centimeters, millimeters, it doesn't matter. But because this triangle has all the same angles, it's congruent, meaning that all of the sides are proportionate in the same proportion. So what that would let me do then in this case, if I knew that this side right here were related by a factor of 3, then I can just transpose that to the rest of these sides. Like this side right here would be a 33, and this side would be a 30. Again, I just find this factor of how much I'm going to multiply by, and then I can use that to find these sides, just multiplying those previous values each by 3. So this right here is called the unit circle. It's super useful in trigonometry, and for your applications also very, very useful. And you can find a bunch of different points on your 3D printer with this information. Alright, and what this is, it's just a circle of radius 1 superimposed on the XY axis. This point right here then being 1, 0, and then all of these kind of points that are on the axis should be pretty obvious. The stuff that's not so obvious is the stuff at these different degrees. We're going to focus on this 120 degrees and this 240. Alright, here's the deal, and I'm going to try to explain this as good as possible. From this information on 120, we get this coordinate right here. That's the coordinate you get if you have this radius of 1 right here. Another way to think about that is a triangle at 90 degrees right here. That's a radius of 1, and the y value or the height of this is √3/2, and this side is 1/2. It says -1/2, but that's because it's going negative in the x direction because of the angle. In your situation, what you're doing is a triangle that has the same degree angles, the same angle here, because you're looking at 120 as this angle, except that you want 75 instead of 1. What that simply means is that you need to multiply both of these values by 75 to get their new values here and here. So I'd multiply 75 by the square root of 3 divided by 2. When I do that, I get 64.95. And when I multiply 75 by half, I get 37.5. So therefore, the coordinates of the spot over here that I'm looking for would be negative 375.5 and 64.95. Those are the coordinates of a circle of radius 75 at that same angle. So again, this is a negative 375 because this is in the second quadrant, and it's because this this 375 right here is going in the negative x direction. Long story short, so that's the reasoning. What you can do to figure out a bunch of different points on your 3D printer by taking the coordinates that are listed on this unit circle and multiplying them by whatever the new radius is. So all of these, again, have a radius of 1. So if you have a radius of 75, you just multiply any of the coordinates by 75. Also, by the way, if you want to scale down and you didn't want to use the whole maximum area, you want us to use a radius of 50, you would just scale everything to be a 50 instead of 75. So I won't do it for you, but if you wanted to calculate the same coordinates at 240 here, you would just take these points right here and multiply both the x and the y coordinate by 75, getting the points for your project. Good luck, man.